Mentorship is key. It is not charity. It is something that we are investing. Mentorship is an investment you give to young people. You must be intentional about mentoring them, passing down the values to these young people. It begins with just as simple as being a mentor.
Yeah, welcome back to Just Africa on Sook News TV. This is the second segment. You can do well to follow us on all our social media platforms at Sook News TV, and ensure you subscribe to the Just Africa show on all our YouTube channels. So, leadership, as the name sounds, does not begin with title. It begins with alignment. You know, before young people can change communities, they must first understand themselves. Millions of youth are talented, vocal, connected, and ambitious. Yet many are battling confusion, pressure, fear, and a quiet question of who am I really and what am I meant to do? The crisis is not just about unemployment or opportunities. It is the absence of self-discovery, mentorship, and purpose-driven leadership. So raising Africa's change makers means doing more than motivating people. It means guiding them. It means building systems that help youth discover their strength, develop discipline, and translate passion into impact. It means replacing comparison with clarity, noise with direction, and pressure with purpose. Our conversation in this second segment of Just Africa is about raising Africa's change makers. That's youth leadership, self-discovery, and power of purpose-driven mentorship. Our guest is Toyin Phyllis Wiggins. She is a dedicated and passionate youth and community development professional. As a project lead for the Toyin Wiggins Center for Leadership and Mentoring Initiative, she has empowered over 30,000 young leaders globally. Toyin's work focuses on executing projects aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, emphasizing advocacy and individual transformation as catalysts for society change. Her tireless efforts have earned her multiple accolades, recognizing her as an outstanding change maker. Through her work, Toyin embodies the spirit of service, inspiring others to contribute to positive societal impact. Her ultimate goal is to lead life characterized by a continuous outpouring of love, care, and support for individuals and society at large. Hello, Toyin. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's beautiful to have you right here on Just Africa.
Yeah, it's a great pleasure.
Okay, so we want to go straight. So the first question is the fact that youth frustration is rising. In fact, it's on the increase. What does this tell you about our leadership systems?
It tells me that we have people but not systems. We have 60% of African population under 25 years of age. But our leadership structure, we're designed to select a few, not to develop the few. So through the work that I've done so far, I have seen that I've seen this pattern in the young people. I know that they don't lack talent. They only lack access and mentorship. And until we change this structure, until we change this system, young people will continually be under the illusion that they cannot lead. So it is not that we don't have youth that have creativity and the ability to become. We only have a structure problem, a system problem. That is what we have right now.
If we have a structure and a system problem, there should be solutions to these structures and system problems as well. What are the solutions to them?
So first and foremost, we have to stop talking to the young people and start talking with them, trying to understand their mindset, trying to understand where they stand. Because most of the time we say that these young people are entitled generation, forgetting that we are the ones that created the system in the first place that is making the young people entitled. So we have to start structuring it in the way that we listen more to them, listen more to their problems, and try to profile solutions to the problems that they have, because we didn't have the kind of problem that these young people are having these days. So we have to start by deliberately mentoring them, making sure that mentorship is key. It is not charity. It is something that we are investing. Mentorship is an investment you give to young people. You must be intentional about mentoring them, passing down the values to these young people. It begins with just as simple as being a mentor to these young people, pouring your life into them and shaping their vision. Because if we don't do that, what we are going to have is we are going to have repeated leaders that are repeating the faults of these people they are currently criticizing, because it is what they are saying that they are going to, replicate. It is not what we are telling them. So when we intentionally pour into their life, intentionally building them and telling them that this is the way to go, they listen and they see you practice it, then they follow you. But when you just keep talking and you are not even trying as much as possible to be that leader that you want them to be, it is not possible for us to have a change system. So this is where it begins from, becoming a deliberate mentor. Somebody that is pouring his experience or her experience to the younger people. And you must not look at it like charity. You look at it as if you are investing in the next generation. Because these young people, they have what it takes. They have the number, they have the creativity, and they have what it takes to lead our nation.
All right, thank you very much, Ma. So from your work across communities, what are the most common internal struggles young Africans are facing today?
A lot of times what I see is they have given up on themselves. They have given up because they have tried severally. Like, for example, you apply for a job and you have applied several times and you are qualified and you are not being picked, and a less qualified person has been picked. And so they want to give up on their vision, and they see the best brain, drifting out of Nigeria and jackpying to other countries where they find succor and find their voice. And then even in our community also, we also started looking at these young people like they don't have a voice. Meanwhile, we are the ones that are not giving them the platform to shine, to use their voices for impact. This is what I've been seeing in communities. This is what I've been seeing with young people. They see that their voice don't count, because even when you create a structure, when, for example, you say youth council, you created that youth council without enough funding. How will they carry out the projects that they are supposed to carry out when you have not funded the youth council? You are calling a meeting of stakeholders in communities, and you are not bringing a young person to the table to use their voice for change. It is not possible for these young people to feel that they belong to the same society that all of us belong to. So this is what I've seen, inferiority complex. They are saying themselves that they are less than. They are saying themselves that even if I say something, my voice don't count. So we have to start changing this narrative and bringing them to the table and making sure that their contribution is taken seriously, and funding organizations that young people lead, and deliberately making sure that wherever we find them in our places of work, we create a program of mentorship for them. And that is an investment. Like I said, it is not charity.
It is not charity. Okay, yeah. Ma, I noticed that when you were speaking earlier on, you made mention of entitled generation. Like they feel they are entitled. But you are not of that opinion. You said that the present leaders created that space. Do you think the leaders agree with you, or do you think they will agree with you that they caused it or they created that space?
It is me and you that caused it. We raised our children, protecting them from challenges, protecting them, making sure that they have everything they need. Sometimes we don't even allow them think. We just think that this is their problem and we provided it for them. And so they grew up thinking everything that they need will be provided for them. And now they are adults. You are telling them they are feeling like an entitled generation. We created it. So we created that system. We cannot throw away the baby with the water. We have to stand right now and start trying to correct what we have created.
So how do you correct an adult, someone who is already grown, who believes that, yes, the system is supposed to provide everything for me? How do you correct that kind of a person? We are grown.
Yes, you are grown. So because we have already made that mistake in the past, now we have to systematically try to mentor. Mentorship is now the key. We can come back and say, yes, I know that I've made a mistake by making sure that I blocked you from even thinking of how to help yourself, helping you become. Now you have become. For you to continually or continuously rely on me, this is the way to go. Then we start building the block of mentorship. We start with that. Start with trying to shape them. Make sure that mentorship is available whenever they need it. And young people can have different kind of mentors. They can have leadership mentorship. They can have spiritual mentorship. They can have economical mentors. If they are entrepreneurs, they can have people that have gone ahead of them. They can go and learn under them to see this is how to carry out this project. This is how to go. I cannot run faster than my shadows. I have to follow the process, because if you don't follow the process, there is no way you will not repeat the exams.
Yes. Okay, so what happens to a society when young people grow without guidance or mentorship? Because you've said mentorship. So what happens to that kind of society that does not project guidance or mentorship right now?
That kind of society is not a society we would like to see. We learn from people that have gone ahead of us. Most people that are successful today, they stood on the shoulders of people that have gone ahead of them to learn the rudiments of leadership, of the entrepreneurship skill. Taking, for example, the Igbo system, you see that even though the young people don't go to school or they didn't go to school, they go and learn apprenticeship from the people that have gone ahead of them, and they turn out to become best business people. I'm using the Igbo as an example because that's the most common one that we see around. That is a kind of mentorship. That is a very, very good way of leading people to find purpose and to know how to lead their community. We are going to have weak leadership if we don't have people that are being mentored. We are going to have people that take irresponsible decision, because every decision you make, either good or bad, they have a backside to it. So we will not have people with good character. We need people that we mentor also, that we can become the best version of ourselves. So a society that don't have people that are mentoring them is a society that is heading for the brink.
Okay, I want you to tell us about the Toyin Wiggins Center for Leadership and Mentoring Initiative. What do you do? Because we'll be seeing your pictures flying left, right, and center on the screen with children, with young people. Can you tell us more about that leadership center?
Okay, so the Toyin Wiggins Center for Leadership and Mentoring Initiative was started to build young emerging African leaders. Growing up, I found out that I had someone ahead of me that taught me almost everything that I'm doing. And I just found out that I have to pay it back. I have to pay it forward. I have to make sure that everything that I've garnered on the highway of life, or everything that I've learned, I pour it back into the life of other young people. So we do leadership and mentoring conferences, events every year. It's a big event where we have 600 to 700 young people every year coming for the conference. We bring mentors from their host community, people that have gone ahead that will come and pour their life experiences to these young people. We don't stop at that. We also work with orphans and displaced children. These are children that are living in camps, and now they have been collapsed into orphanage homes. We try to care for their needs, raising support of food, clothing, and basic need for them so that they can become a well-rounded young people growing up in our community. We also look at young people that are using their voices, using their platform to shine light to issues in their community, and they're actually filling those gaps. And we award them what is called the Top 100 Changemakers Award on the plateau. And we are using the Sustainable Development Goals to achieve most of what we are doing, because we know that everything we want to do on planet Earth revolve around the 17 SDG goals. So we pick about 7 of it and we are working with it. And we are making sure that young people are also, coming into the SDG goal to use it in their community. Talking about climate change, most people don't know that our climate is dying. And so we are waking the young people up to say, plant a tree a day, make sure that your community is okay. We are telling people that go back to your community, tell young people to go back to school, because we have the largest number of out of school children in Africa, if not in the world. So if young people are rising up to say, okay, I've learned a lot of things from other people, let me go back to my community and become an English teacher or even a math teacher. So we are raising these young people to fill the gaps in their community. These are more of what we do in the Toyin Wiggins Center for Leadership and Mentoring Initiative. And we mostly work with volunteers. We don't really have core staff per se. We have like 5 staff, but we have about 48 young people that are volunteering with us to achieve all these goals, because as they are volunteering, they are learning and they are also replicating it in their communities. We call them change makers, because they also have their own organization that they are using to fill a space in their community. Without having your own organization, you cannot come on board and say you are a change maker. What are you changing if you have not changed internally?
All right. So, like I was saying before the internet glitch again, whatever it is that you need to give to yourself, you have to do whatever you need to do to ensure that you become a better version for yourself. Attend leadership training. Do whatever you need to do to ensure that, yes, you become a better version of yourself. Not just for yourself, but for the society at large. It will help the society, or it will make the planet a better place if we become a better people first for ourselves. So this episode of Just Africa has been about how African can intentionally raise leaders who are grounded, values-driven, and prepared, not just to succeed personally, like I said earlier, but to serve meaningfully. Because when young people find purpose and they receive the right mentorship, they don't just change their lives, they change nations. And that's how we've come to the end of today's episode of Just Africa. And you can do it to follow us on all our social media platforms at Sook News TV and subscribe to the Just Africa show. Until come your way tomorrow, I am Omevi Idolo. Thanks for watching.